Lawrence Hill Railway Station was opened on the 8th of September 1863 when services began on the Bristol and South Wales Union Railway, which ran from Bristol Temple Meads to a new passenger pier north of the city on the banks of the River Severn. At New Passage, the passengers were transferred to a ferry to cross the Severn to continue into Wales. In 1874, the Clifton Extension Railway opened, connecting the Bristol Port Railway and pier to the Great Western Railway at Narroways Hill Junction north of Stapleton Road. To cope with the expected increase in traffic, the line was doubled, and a second platform was added to the east of the two tracks. Two more tracks were added in 1891, given a layout of two sets of two tracks, with platforms on the outside and on an island in the middle. Trains to and from Clifton Down and Avonmouth would use the western platforms, while trains to and from South Wales used the eastern platforms. There were buildings on all platforms which were linked by a large cover footbridge. There was a goods yard to the west of the station and a signal box on the central platform. In 1886, the daily Great Western service along the Clifton Extension Railway was 6 trains each way between Avonmouth and Bristol Temple Meads. 24 trains from Clifton Down to Bristol Temple Meads and 26 the other direction. By 1910 there were 17 services daily between Avonmouth and Bristol Temple Meads and 15 the other way. A further 20 trains each day operated between Clifton Down and Temple Meads. From 1924 many trains to Avonmouth were extended to Bristol to Severn Beach, a growing seaside resort, and some on to Pilning. Then back to Bristol Temple Meads via Patchway. Circular trips via Henbury were also common. The station was also used by excursion trains and by trains of evacuees during the Second World War. By 1947, just before the start of the British Railway era, there were 33 daily services each direction between Avonmouth and Temple Meads, 18 on Sundays. Many trains would pass through Lawrence Hill non-stop in 1930, and 350 trains would pass through the station each day, of which roughly 40% would stop. When the railway was nationalised in 1948, Lawrence Hill came under the control of the Western region of British Railways, which oversaw the gradual decline of services in Lawrence Hill. Passenger numbers along the Clifton Extension Railway, now known as the Severn Beach Line, also dropped, and in 1963 the Beecher Report suggested that all services along the line be withdrawn. In the end, service continued to Severn Beach, but were discontinued via Henbury and Pilning. Staff were withdrawn from the station on the 17th of July 1967 as a cost-saving measure. The footbridge was demolished by 1970, forcing passengers to change platform via the steps to Church Road at the south end of the station. Most of the station buildings were demolished in August of 1970, but there were still some of the westernmost platform in 1979. By 1974, the platforms serving the eastern tracks had been removed, with all the tracks themselves being removed in 1984. Plans to use the disused trackbed as part of a light rail scheme linking the city centre to the northern suburbs were formed in the late 1990s, with the aim of an operational scheme by 2008, but these plans were shelved in 2004. It was suggested in 2008 that the trackbed could be used as a cycle path to join the communities which had been separated by the construction of the M32 motorway. However, this was also dropped due to Network Rail asserting that the trackbed may be necessary for future rail expansion. British Rail was split into business sectors by the 1980s, at which time operations at Stapleton Road passed to two regional railways. All trains along the Severn Beach line ran to Severn Beach, with a service pattern irregular. This was changed in the mid-1990s with more frequent service to Avonmouth but very few to Severn Beach and no Sunday services. When the railway was privatised in 1997, local services were franchised to Wales and West, which was succeeded by Wessex Trains and arm of National Express in 2001. Services along the line to Severn Beach were increased to 10 per day in each direction in 2005, with Bristol City Council providing a subsidy to Wessex Trains. The Wessex franchise was amalgamated with the Great Western Railway franchise from 2006, and responsibility passed to First Great Western, a subsidiary of the First Group, which was rebranded in 2015 as Great Western Railway. A minimum service requirement was written into the franchise agreement, ensuring an hourly service along the line to Severn Beach, and passenger traffic increased significantly, and by 2010 Sunday services to Severn Beach were also restored. So let's get started, shall we, with 166208, departing with the 1041 Great Western Railway service from Bristol Temple Meads to Filton Abbey Wood. Running 48 minutes late is 66017 and 66160, working a freight train from Little Kimble to Tiverington. Next up on the fast line is 166133, working 2 Victor 58 from Westbury to Worcester Forgate Street. Taking us by surprise is Castle Set 43156 and 43042, working 2 Charlie to 71 from Cardiff Central to Taunton. Next for departure we see 165135, working the 1049 Great Western Railway service from Weston-super-Mare to Severn Beach. Next to Diver around the corner is 166205, working 1 Foxtrot 10 from Portsmouth Harbour to Cardiff Central. Speaking of divering, the next train in is 166216, working the 1112 Great Western Railway service from Avonmouth to Weston-super-Mare. And with the cancellation of 1 Foxtrot 13 from Cardiff Central to Portsmouth Harbour, next up is 166219, working the 1115 Great Western Railway service from Bristol Temple Meads to Avonmouth. Almost taken us by surprise is 166208, working the 1122 Great Western Railway service from Filton Abbey Wood to Bristol Temple Meads. Over on the fast line is 166209, working 2 Oscar 76 from Gloucester to Weymouth. Another one over on the fast line is 220029 and 221139, working 1 Victor 48 from Newcastle to Bristol Temple Meads. And going in the opposite direction is 221122. Working 1 Sierra 45 from Plymouth to Aberdeen. Next train in to arrive is 166214, working the 1139 Great Western Railway service from Severn Beach to Bristol Temple Meads. And sneaking from behind the networker is 158766, working 2 Victor 60 from Weymouth to Gloucester. And here comes our train in the morning, 166208. Working the 1141 Great Western Railway service from Bristol Temple Meads to Filton Abbey Wood. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed what you saw, click on the 2 videos here at the end screen. Helps out the channel. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you are new and got this far. And we'll see you all in the next video, folks, wherever that may take us. We'll see you then, folks.